Welcome to the TALKESHI podcast, episode 66. And I guess it's the Christmas episode. For the audio listeners, I'm wearing some gloves that are missing lots of glitters, no, like gems that I stuck to them. Okay, eso fue invento mío. I wanted to I don't know what I wanted, but yeah, speaking of being an audio listener, if you are, you're missing out on the video because it's very pretty. I decorated it so nicely. I'm kind of proud of the setup, honestly. But anyway, hi guys, espero que estén bien. This is the Christmas episode, which wasn't planned. Let me just do some housekeeping before I get to the unplannedness of this all. So first of all, I want to thank y'all for showing so much support to Fuega, to the last episode. Holy smokes, thank you guys so much. En verdad que Fuega has been amazing. It's only been 2 episodes, but en verdad I've been very happy with it. And obviously the last episode was one of the best podcasting experiences I've ever had. So I'm very happy. Shout out to Filomeno, which I'm pretty sure I'm not pretty sure, I know was like the big poll, of course, but like it was generally such a nice experience, and I just want to like say that I had a really fun time, and I don't know what else to say. It was really good. And speaking of Fuega, unfortunately, it's like a monthly episode. We're gonna take a break for winter, of course. Es como que, son las navidades. We don't want to be working that much during the holidays, so you are gonna get a holiday episode, but it'll be in January. At the end of January van a ser la octavita. So yeah, ten pendiente a eso. I just wanted to get that out of the way. I just wanted to thank y'all por el tremendo support que le han dado a Fuega. Can't wait to do more. As for this podcast, no lo he dejado en el olvido, okay? Also, I feel like my makeup looks so weird. Also, this angle is just weird in general, pero para que aprecien the decor. But my makeup looks, I don't know. I copied Gwen Stefani. You'll see that on my makeup account. But anyway, yeah, no es que haya dejado este podcast en el olvido. I had other plans, como que I wanted to make a Christmas episode one way, pero así no se va a poder. So y'all are getting an episode on loneliness. This wasn't even like an outfit that I had planned for the podcast episode, but I was like, when else am I gonna be able to take pictures in a red dress for Christmas and stuff, so voy a aprovechar. But yeah, I didn't even know what I was gonna make an episode on until ahora. Also, sorry for this being so bright. This camera's fighting with me with this lighting right now, but yeah, I wasn't even planning, but I do want to say que vamos a revisar los New Year's Eve bets de este año. ¿Se acuerdan that we did like New Year's bets? Remember? Yeah. I'm really excited to check that out, pero yeah, let me just get into it, or at least terminar con housekeeping, what else is going on. Nada, que este podcast casi estaba en el olvido, but I am bringing it back, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with these next few episodes antes de llegar al otro Fuega. So like I said, shout out to Alondra, who's my friend and faithful viewer. She actually recommended this like a few months ago when I did like my comeback episode I think on this topic, which siento que, first of all, I scoured through like my notes and I was like, what do I even make tomorrow's episode about? And I think loneliness is perfect. It's a perfect topic porque obviously it's the holidays. It's a time cuando la gente como que, sit around and they're just like with loved ones and stuff. Y hay mucha gente que no puede hacer eso. Supongo que I want to talk about it just in general, but also as it pertains to Christmas. And speaking of Christmas, casi se me olvida. We're gonna drink some coquito. Wait, we're gonna drink some coquito. It's gonna be fun while we talk about nuestras depresiones. So hold up, déjame servirme. Shout out a mi pai que hace mejor coquito. Let's get into our feelings now. El año pasado, I don't know, so many things have happened this year, but also I want to say that this feeling of loneliness, which it's not that I'm lonely, like I'm not sad that I'm lonely. I just tend to be a person, like I'm gonna speak on loneliness from the perspective of a person que le gusta estar sola. Le gusta estar, como, I like my own space. I consider myself also like a very complete person. Like, I consider myself to be someone que doesn't always need someone or doesn't always need afecto ni cariño. I mean, I do in healthy doses, I do. Pero siento que this perspective of mine has been warped from like mucho trauma, seeing people that I love or people that I know that have like, that really need ese cariño or really need to, tienen problemas de apego, I guess, right? Like attachment or like, just like, I don't know, just like very unhealthy relationships and can't be alone or can't like, don't see the value of really being your own person and being yourself. O sea, not being yourself, but of just being okay with just yourself, ¿verdad? So por mucho tiempo, I will say que I wasn't a people person. Sorry if you can hear me swallowing. Pero I wasn't like a people person, but I really was like a friend's friend. ¿Me entiende? I remember like, ¿ustedes se acuerdan cuando la gente se enviaba like textos todos los años? Like, gente de tu salón quizás como que le enviaba a todo el mundo como que Feliz Navidad, te quiero mucho, qué sé yo, or whatever, and you're just like, I'm not even this close to this classmate, but it's like, okay, thank you, Merry Christmas to you too, or whatever. I feel like I grew around this sense of like friendship and stuff que then made me, like, there was a moment in time where I had like a big group of friends, or like I don't know, como que I was just this type of person. I used to be the host of parties. I used to be, wow, viste, se siguen cayendo los cositos. Anyway, I used to be this, like, I used to host a lot of parties. I used to think, like, and I was even told by ex-friends that, like, I was, like, the glue in a lot of their friendship groups and stuff. And I actually believe that to be true, not to feed my own ego, ¿verdad? Pero I do believe that I was, like, the person who had, like, a big friend group who was, like, all friends combined, right? And my ex, you know, couldn't, like, always see all of his friends, so like I would make parties so he could see them all in like one, ¿verdad? Especialmente si vive en la diáspora and stuff, like, you know, hay gente que se enoja if you don't go to visit them, and it's kind of stupid, it's a whole thing. Pero I used to be the person that was like, okay, well, let's have a party, let's pa que los vea todos de un cantazo, and like no one feels left out or guilty or sad. So I used to be that kind of person, ¿verdad? And then like I did have this Christmas party that like ruined it. Kind of, it was like, I don't know, I see it as like a moment in time that like, not that it needed to happen, pero fue como que it really warped my perspective on friendships from there on out. Como que I started seeing myself as like, okay, I'm alone. I'm the only one that cares about myself, and no one else can really see it that way, right? And then like I started getting close to my partner and my best friends, como que in very healthy ways. I was like, for a moment, okay, I was like, okay, let me scope out, you know, real friends, how many of us, or whatever. And yeah, I started just being healthy with my friendships, or very selective, or like, ¿verdad? And then the pandemic happened. And I do want to say that, like, I lose friends every year. Like, every single year I lose friends. We'll get into that. But it's like, wow. I don't know. I just remembered that, and I wanted to make that clear that, like, even though I was being selective, it doesn't stop you from losing friends or, like, growing apart from people. It's a whole thing, ¿me entiende? So then the pandemic happened, right? Y en verdad, I mean, it was good for my social anxiety, but, like, as for friends and stuff, yeah, como que some friendships got messed up. Some friendships, no sé. I think, especially something that happened this year, I don't know if I've even talked about that, especially during my breakdown that I had, like, in April, May. There was, like, this moment where, ¿verdad? Como que, I don't know, it's like I said, I have friendship breakups pretty much every year, and the one that happened this year really affected me. I'm not gonna talk about it a lot, obviously, because that'd be weird, pero it did affect me a lot in cuanto a como que, am I even a good person? I don't know if I've said this before. I feel like this has been, like, this was, like, the biggest story of this year for me, personally. I don't know if I've talked about it before, but I've been, like, it was something that really affected me of like, am I a good person? Am I like other people que inconvenience themselves for everyone else, and it's like they're so selfless y son como que el tipo de persona que siempre está como que like siempre estoy ahí para ti, like no importa lo que necesites, me dices, qué sé yo. I don't know how I feel about that kind of person. I don't know if I was even going in this direction, but it is a big part of what I wanted to talk about today. I don't know if I am that kind of person que como que si tú eres una persona dada o eres un tipo de persona que es como que siempre va a estar para ahí, qué sé yo. First of all, that's a fallacy. I want to say que como que you can't always be there for people. I don't care. I don't care si tú eres el tipo de persona como que no, hay que ser, que si único. I don't, like, no, tú no siempre puedes. Todo el mundo tiene situaciones diferentes donde como que tú no siempre puedes estar para ahí para una persona, which is why I try to not say that. I will always help as much as I can, as much as I, ¿verdad? And I don't care. I don't care if you're like, oh, what about community? What about, yes, community is important. Y empatía y todo eso is obviously important. Pero, I don't know, I think that ese pensar es como que viene de a lack of boundaries. Like, cuando tú no tienes boundaries con la gente, cuando tú siempre quieres quedar bien con la gente, cuando tú no quieres que tal persona piense que you're a bad person or a bad friend o que sí, ni que tú vas a como que desvivirte por help other people and inconvenience yourself para que no piensen mal de ti. And I think that's even more selfish. I don't know. That's something that I thought about a lot this year. Siento que algo bien prevalente en nuestra cultura. I feel like it's just, yeah, como que that shouldn't happen. I think people should be more aware of that kind of stuff. And I feel like Alondra, shout out Alondra again, she had a thread kind of talking about that. About like, if you're the type of person que es super dada in that way y no tiene boundaries, tú vas a esperar que otra gente también haga eso contigo. And that's not always possible. Siento que hay que tener balance. If you know, como que si esa persona, si tú tienes amistades que te ayudan. I don't know. I actually don't. Great. I don't even want to get into that too much because I feel like I'm not muy diestra in that. I just wanted to say that. Like, just have boundaries. No siempre, you know, help each other out, community. That's important. Pero también ten boundaries. It's important because you want to know something. Siento que the good thing about being alone or being a loner or just being someone super dependent, because I wanted to talk about that también, que I have problems with dependency. I used to have them. I don't anymore. But when you have that, when you're kind of like dependent on someone o como que, you know, eres super dado with someone, that can cause resentment. Como que along the line, tú siempre vas a estar ahí para esta persona and you're gonna kind of resent them. You're gonna kind of feel like, diablo, pero como que no bregan conmigo. O como que, diablo, yo siempre estoy bregando para ellos, qué sé yo. And that's not good tampoco. And it's like, maybe if you had enough boundaries, maybe if you realize that you're actually very dependent on yourself y como que no necesitas a nadie, then maybe you wouldn't be resentful for that person. And you would actually help that person fuera de like the goodness of your heart, and you wouldn't resent them at the end, ¿me entiendes? So I think that's just something that a lot of people need to understand to a certain degree. You know, lo que me pasó with my friend como que made me realize que I am a selfish person. Not in a bad way. Como que, like I was talking about, I have boundaries and sometimes that inconveniences people, lamentablemente, or people think that you're a selfish person por eso. It's the reason I don't want to have kids. I always say, cuando la gente me habla de como que, why don't you want to have kids? I always say like all the reasons. You know, money, find kids annoying, whatever. I do, but I don't. I know that there's a discussion on Twitter. We're not going to talk about that. Pero el punto es que, yeah, I like being by myself. Sometimes the cost of not being alone, Jesus Christ, they're everywhere, la piedrita esta. Sometimes the price of not being alone is, I don't know, like you realize that like maybe if I was como que yo sé que mucha gente, muchas parejas piensan like, ay, maybe sí, como que they're always talking to like the young generation, like, tú estás soltero, tú estás solo, qué sé yo. And I think that a lot of people get married very soon or out of necessity de como que, quiero, como que no quiero estar solo, qué sé yo. And like I said, that causes resentment. So yo creo que when you realize that you don't need anyone in that way, or como que you don't really, I don't know, I've made my peace with being alone. Obviously I don't live alone, pero I've made my peace with myself being my own family. I feel like hay mucha gente que fuera de necesidad, fuera de querer accomplish these ideals que nos ponen desde chiquito, right? That you're gonna like grow up and you're gonna get married and have kids. I feel like eso ya, that's why like all these homophobes pelean with like, you know, against what's not considered a nuclear family, which is like a heterosexual family with like minimum 2 kids, ¿me entienden? Because it's like, I also like, at another point I'll get into como que how I'm not really a value to society, because it's like I do want to be alone, and that means I'm not gonna generate, you know, value for the economy a través de hijes or like stuff like, I'll talk about that one day. Sounds like a conspiracy theory, but I guess it's kind of interesting, right? And I'm not doing it out of like protest or anything. I'm just like, para mí como que that's just how I want to live my life, right? And I think a lot of people, that's the thing, a lot of people me ven, o sea, me escuchan y dicen como que, are you crazy? No, you're gonna meet someone, y qué sé yo. And it's like, no, it doesn't mean that I'm like restricting myself. Yo no estoy aquí como que, like, no quiero conocer a nadie, no quiero qué sé yo. No, like, I've simply have become a complete person. Yo no estoy a la espera de algo. Yo no estoy a la espera de como que una pareja or finding people that make me more complete. I am already complete. I am my own family. Como que I am my own household. Como que if I meet someone, then that's great. That is a bonus. And that is un valor que yo le doy. No es algo que como que si no está, yo me siento incompleta. I feel good with myself. So like, I mean, this isn't the end of the podcast episode. Maybe it is. I don't know how long I've been going. Pero I do want to say that durante estas Navidades, I think you should really think about the value of being alone. I know that it is hard. Obviously, I do want to give the disclaimer that it is hard if you've lost a loved one this year. Eso es sumamente difícil for those people. It is so hard estar las Navidades sin esa persona que they have lost. That is completely different, though, a lo que estoy diciendo de como que maybe you feel like, no tengo un novio que me regala, qué sé yo, o I don't have a good relationship with my parents or with my family, so like I'm all alone, qué sé yo. Well, like, see the value in being alone. See the value in like what I did yesterday, which was just like, I had the house to myself, so I was like, I'm just gonna cocinar meguito, and I just put on Christmas music. I put on the Christmas playlist, add some stuff. I'm gonna put the link in the description. I just played the playlist. I made myself some hot cocoa. It was a really nice time. And I know that's like simplifying it a lot, but like it made me very happy, and it made me as happy as like una salida con amistades, ¿me entiendes? Because like I'm so okay with myself que, dude, I was thinking about this también, como que cuando yo tenía pelea de pareja, that was the worst. When you're not okay with someone o tiene algo así como que just like, we would do long distance, so obviamente era como que if we had a fight, we'd like have no way to like see each other, and like, oh my god, that was the worst. So I feel like now if that were to happen, si yo tuviera una pelea con mi pareja or something, I would still be relatively okay, because it's like, okay, I'm okay with myself. I am not missing a part of me que está mad at me right now. ¿Me entiende? I think that's like one of the many examples as to why being a loner or being so okay with yourself is so important, dude. I realized I'm the only one that lives with myself, that forgives myself, that understands myself. That is true, not to feed into the whole like we born alone and die alone kind of thing, but it is kind of true. Entonces, the thing is about being alone and why I see the value of being alone and appreciating alone time is that I was filling the void with all these friends, ¿verdad? The ones that I said at the beginning. I was filling a void. I was like, you know, life is good as long as I have these friends. especially if you like, and I was realizing this, pensando about this. Dios mío, mi Spanglish es horrible. Ya entiendo los que comentan que no le gustan, because, Dios mío, pongo palabras que no tienen ni que ver. Pero estaba pensando en esto esta mañana as I was practicing this episode. Que yo siento que since I didn't have like, I mean, I had a good household, pero como que yo veía mucho, siempre estaba como que, ay, well, todo va a estar bien as long as I'm like hanging out with my friends or something, right? Yo veía tanto valor en eso, and it's like these people, not everyone, right? I'm not talking about all my ex-friends, but a lot of people disrespected me or didn't value me tampoco. And now, you know, when that Christmas party happened, see, this is like a Christmas episode for real, because it's like very Christmas themed. When that one Christmas party happened, que I you know, that big friendship group illusion disbanded, and I got close to just the people that I wanted in my life, que de verdad me valoraban. Everything changed, and hell, ese año fue el que como que yo quería, like, you know, get a different job, get a job in something that I wanted to do. Ese fue el año que I, like, really started caring for myself and what I wanted, and I was happy with the little friends that I have. So, en verdad, I feel like when you put yourself first in ese aspecto, then you kind of like, being alone is the best to me, right? And then like when you get friends, or when you appreciate your friends and know the people around you, and like, que sé yo, wow, Wintering by the 1975 is playing now in my head as I'm thinking this, so play that song. It's in the playlist. You see it as a bonus, and there's nothing better than a bonus. A Christmas bonus. No, but there's nothing better than como que just the default of living, aka being alone, being the best experience that you can have, and then on top of that, friendship, on top of that, relationships, on top of that, good relationships with your family members. Como que that's so cool, and it's all because you are your own person. You have a good sense of self, and you can deal with not having those people in your life, pero instead enriching the relationships that you have. I think that's great about being alone, or like seeing the value in being alone. ¿Me entiendes? So it's not about loneliness, really. Plot twist, this episode wasn't about loneliness. It's about being okay with yourself, and because of that, having better relationships. So loneliness is a myth. You're not really alone. You're not really alone, I guess. Hi, FBI. No, but I guess I really wanted to talk about that because I know that the holidays are really difficult. Sé que, I don't know, como que I think it's like, I haven't had a good Christmas in probably, like almost a decade, really, sinceramente. I haven't had a good Christmas time tampoco, which I feel like as a Puerto Rican is more important, como que la octavita and all the Christmas time surrounding that, ¿verdad? Probably since like 2014, 15. That was like probably the last good Christmas for me. So, you know, I want to think that I'm going to have a good Christmas time por mí. Like, I want to look back at Christmas 2022, 2023 and think like, wow, I was so okay with myself. I was so happy with myself. I was baking freaking cookies every night and listening to Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. That's, well, yeah. I want to think that I was having a good Christmas by myself, and because of that, I had a good time con mi ahijada, con mi mejor amiga, with my mom, with my grandma who's here for the holidays, you know. So I think when you're okay, that's really the lesson that I want to give in this episode. Be okay with yourself. It's okay to feel the Christmas blues, but you know, as long as you just, I feel like I've been repeating it, so I'm tired of repeating it. So this is the last time I'll say it. Be okay with yourself. That's the lesson with this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Casi no tomé coquito because I was talking. Pero yeah, go drink some coquito, make it by yourself, you know, or buy yourself some de alguien que lo está haciendo, and drink it by yourself, listen to some music, put on your favorite podcast, and be like, this is the life that I envision. And then people will come and enrich it more. That's great. I want to say thank you. I want to be grateful here and say thank you guys for watching this episode. If you did, thank you for watching Fuega so much. We'll be back in January. The next episode, well, I'll see, because I might have a really cool guest in the next episode, but there's also the final episode, which will be out in the last days of the year, que van a ser revisiting those NYE bets. Let's see how that went. And I just want to say thank y'all so much. Y les veo en el próximo. Let me just end this quick, because Jesus Christ, I feel like I've been going on forever. Merry Christmas. Sé que no estamos en Christmas todavía. It's not this week. It's not even... Is it the next week? No, it's not even the next week. But have a good one. I'll see y'all in the next episode, whichever that is. Bye, guys.